Hello and welcome to the Friday night edition of Game On here on News Central Television. My name is Babatunde Koiki. We always like to thank you for joining us because we know you could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with us enjoying what promises to be a 1 hour of the latest sports news from Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. Don't forget, we're streaming live on YouTube. And of course, you can join our social media handles, X, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. And the handle, of course, is at News Central TV. Well, it's been a wonderful day for Nigerian sports at the ongoing 13th Africa Games in Accra. Personally, I'm absolutely chuffed. 10 out of the 11 boxers that Nigeria registered for the African Games made it to the final, which means that the least that any one of them can win is a silver medal. And I can tell you, it's been gold so far, so good. 10 of them are in the final. 10 of them could possibly win 10 gold medals. So it's really looking good for Nigeria. But before we get into the action proper, let me start by introducing the people beside me here. My immediate right, Wale Adigun, joins us again. He was here yesterday. He had so much fun, he had to come back again today. So, Wale, it's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, they say when the song is sweet, you play it again.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And this is actually the first time you're introducing me first on the show.
Yeah, well, there's a first time for everything.
Definitely.
So it won't happen too often. So just enjoy what I last now.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, my far right is a man who's always a permanent fixture on the show, as well as permanent as the furniture here in the studio. I'm talking about Okwe Adebayo. Okwe, thank you also for joining us. It's a great day to talk sports, considering the fact that there's a lot to look forward to over the weekend.
Definitely, it's a great day, and I'm happy to be here in the company of great gentlemen as well. So I'm ready to dive into it.
Well, another gentleman joins us today because this is his first time on the show. He's actually one of the Nigeria's finest experts in marketing, and he's going to be talking about the future of merchandising as regards to Nigeria football. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the senior partner of Sport.com and a personal friend of mine, Toyosi Tunji Toyosi. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Just like I said, I mean, you always have a way of dragging me to on TV.
Yes. And the last time you were on TV, I was the one that dragged you.
Me. So again, yeah, I'm here today.
Well, it's better if I drag you to TV than I drag you on social media. So you have to choose one dragging. You can't escape anymore.
You know, when I was in Abidjan, Wale called me and said, bro, I mean, about Coach tell me, show me there. And I want to tweet at you. I said, for where? So you cannot even drag me. I know day.
So for those who didn't know, if you are in Ivory Coast for the Africa Cup of Nations, you've exposed yourself now.
Yeah,
exactly. So yes, so now if you are looking for him over the last few months ago, you couldn't find him. Now you know why he was probably in Communicado. Well, gentlemen, let's dive into the show proper. It's been a great day for Nigerian athletics. A great 48 hours because the golden or the medal reign started yesterday in fantastic fashion. Let's quickly give you a rundown of everything that's been happening over the last 48 hours in case you missed it. First was the women's football final. It didn't go exactly as planned, despite the exhortations of the Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, to the national under-20 team of Nigeria, the Falconets. They could not hold on to one goal lead, succumbing to their Ghanaian counterparts in a packed stadium in Cape Coast, losing 2-1 in the final of the women's football event. Nigeria actually went ahead in that game. Ghana fought back to equalize and scored a goal later on in the game to stop Nigeria from winning that particular one. Guys, well, let me start with you. It seems as if it's the second time that Nigeria has faced a host nation in the final. It seems that we don't have that killer instinct, or maybe we seem to falter because of the occasion. I'm not sure what it is, but in the final against Cote d'Ivoire at AFCON, we couldn't do it. In the final against Ghana in the women's football event, we couldn't do it as well. Cause for concern?
Not really. Because actually, I don't want to play spoiler here, but I'm not taking Nigeria-Ghana yesterday. I'm not taking it too seriously. It's just an African
Why don't you
game.
take it serious? It's a competitive game.
It's a game for
any game
it's a game for the gold medal.
Any game between Nigerian cockroaches and Ghanaian cockroaches is a competitive game.
I get you. And we started well. That was the only disheartening thing about the game. We started well. We had lots of chances. We took the lead. We still created chances after taking the lead, and we just took our eyes off the ball. And I think the Ghanaians scored a 99th minute winner.
Yeah.
That was very, very late. So from that perspective, it was a bit heartbreaking for the Falconets, who have been on a very good upward curve. Even before the African Games, under Christopher Danjuma, they've been playing some good stuff in qualifying for the World Cup as well. So this was why this was a bit disheartening, but I won't read too much into it. I still think that the Falconets are still comfortably the best side in Africa, and the African Games will not be a metric to be able
to measure them. And they're still
yeah.
looking good to qualify for the next women's Under-20 World Cup as well. You know that Danjuma has done pretty well with this team.
Yeah,
Always been able to create some of the best underage women's team in this country has seen. A lot of them have graduated to the senior national team. So he's a very important cog, do I say a very important part of the production process for women's football, in my opinion. Still talking about Nigeria's performance at the Africa Games yesterday as well. Esther Joseph won gold in the long jump. Not surprising anyway. She's dominated this event for the last 2 editions. This makes it three now that she's won gold in the African in the women's long jump. No surprises for me, okay?
Definitely, no surprises there. But we're very happy with that, increasing the gold medal tally as well. Now we're up to 41 gold medals. And I think this was just very important for her. It's a good testing ground just before the Olympics as well. Ruth Osoro also did well in the triple jump. So
she won gold in the triple jump. Came fourth in the long jump.
Yeah.
And Christina Ochonogo actually did well as well. She came third in the long jump as well. So
definitely.
Not bad for Nigeria.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, in comparison to our other opponents, talking about the likes of Egypt, Ghana, who's also trying to shoot up the table now as well. So it's a good one for Esther Joseph. Once again, a good testing ground for her just before the Olympics.
Okay, just to continue in that vein of form as well, Chioma Onyekwere won silver in the women's discus event. Kemi Francis won silver in the women's heptathlon. Of course, Christina Ochonogo, like I mentioned, finished in third place in the women's long jump as well. That's her first time competing for Nigeria on the continent, so it's good exposure for her. Consider Ekanem won a bronze medal in the men's 200 meters, which was won by Ghana's Joseph Paul Amoa in a time of 20.70 seconds, while silver went to Claude Emmanuel Itonge of Cameroon in a time of 20.74 seconds. There was also another Nigerian in that final as well, Alaba Akintola, who was part of the Nigerian gold-winning 4x100 team. He could only finish in 5th place. Olajide Olayinka also won silver in the women's 200 meters event, while Olatoye Oyeshade picked up a silver medal in the women's shot put. Well, not to leave other competing African countries out of the medal reign. Kenya was also well represented in the women's half marathon. Kenya's Nancy Jeptetlin won a bronze medal for Kenya in the women's half marathon. She was the only Kenyan in that particular race, which is surprising considering the fact that Kenyans always seem to dominate the middle to long distance races. The 22-year-old was on the start list. She was beaten to third place by South Sudan's Lolie Atalena, who took gold, followed by Ethiopia's Zewedu Gelo in second place. So that was how Kenya finished in the women's half marathon. Now, let us talk about boxing. It has been a remarkable day for Nigeria in the boxing event at the ongoing African Games. 11 boxers Nigeria registered for this tournament. 10 of them got to the final. It could have been 11 if not for the controversial light middleweight bout that we mentioned yesterday.
Yeah.
It's still amazing. I really need a proper explanation as regards what happened. It seemed that if the Nigerian had beaten his opponent 3-2, but for some reason, the judges decided to bring in 2 more referees who gave it to him 4-3. And I still don't know what happened. But we've moved on, left that behind, because Nigeria is doing incredibly well. Today, Joy Nene Ojo, she walked over her opponent in the first bout of the day. Selmoun Chahira of Algeria failed to show up, handing Joy Ojo Nene the gold medal on the platter of gold in the 57-kilogram category. Dolapo Omole also defeated Sigakwe Armando Rigoberto of Mozambique in the men's 57-kilogram category for the second gold of the day. Dolapo Omole already qualified for the Olympic Games in Paris later this year. He was followed by Patricia Mbata, who defeated Ben Mabrouk Monka of Tunisia in the women's 75-kilogram category. Then Adams Olaore has also won a gold medal in the men's 92-kilogram category as well. He knocked out his opponent, knocked out. So he didn't leave that to the judges' scorecard. A really good performance. But Toyota, I know that you're not a big fan of boxing, but you must admit that this has been an impressive performance by Nigeria. 10 out of 11 boxers get into the final. There's a possibility that we could walk away with 10 gold medals. If that happens, in your opinion, would that be one of the most impressive feats in African Games history?
Yes, definitely. Kudos to the Boxing Association, because we need to appreciate the effort of the federation. A lot of work. You don't just show up like that.
Oh yeah.
A lot will have happened behind the scene, and that's why I'm saying the kudos to the federation and also the athletes, and a lot of sacrifice. I know from the side of the athlete. And I just want to say that going to the Olympics is a good preparation for us going to the Olympics because it's just three months from now.
Yeah.
I know it's good, encouragement and motivation for the athletes. And I want to say, not only in boxing, weightlifting,
wrestling as well.
Yeah, that shows that Nigeria, we have great potentials in this country. Nigeria is a sport country. I studied sport in university, so I understand is it generic now?
Or genetically naturally talented?
Naturally talented, because it's sincerely, I can tell you because I do football, I do sport business, I know we don't really have what we need to make these athletes happy, but these athletes, the federation, they've committed to making Nigerians smile. And
you've been involved in sports at different levels as well, especially even the business side of it as well. And it's a question that I really want to ask. So what really drives these athletes on? You've talked about the fact that maybe the conditions in which they exist is not the best. And some have said that money is the greatest incentive for them, trying to move themselves and their families out of poverty. Is there something else that we don't know?
Yeah, for Nigerians, because like some of the sports you mentioned, ordinary on the streets, you can pick boxing, there's a place for you to train.
Yeah.
And that's how you see that we thrive in those sports that we can pick on the street, like football, boxing,
table tennis
and all of those things. But other sports that we need highly,
sophistication,
investment, like equipment. That's why you see
tennis.
I'm on the group, and when I saw some people comment on Egypt, that these gold medals, they bring it from their country. That maybe they brought the gold and they just started hanging it on them, right? But then it's a lot of investment. See, it is cost and reaction. You must invest and you see the result. But for us, it's just like I said, we still have a long way to go. But our athletes that are doing very well must say kudos to the federation, because when people talk about, my own industry, football, people talk about the elevator. A lot of sacrifices because it's just Nigeria itself. So you cannot take football or take sport in isolation. But meanwhile, the guys in entertainment, they've shown us that a lot is possible if we can put our hearts together.
With minimal investment from government?
No, I don't want to say government. Please.
Look, I'm talking about, you've talked about entertainment now. Right. Just how much investment does government put into entertainment?
No,
little to nothing.
They didn't put anything. So same thing, we don't need the government to put investment in.
Exactly.
But the stakeholders have to be responsible.
But are you sure? How many people can build a stadium?
No.
But a few people can build a studio. You see the scale of the investment. So in sport, you still need government participation.
Even the English guys. They rely on the government to bring the independent regulator for the Premier League.
So a lot of the stadiums that you see in the Premier League as well, a lot of them are also owned by city councils.
Oh yeah,
especially
to Manchester.
To a large extent, you are very right. And the area where you need government is infrastructure. But the business is the individual there.
Yeah,
also, you know what I'm saying? It's the government that will put in place the infrastructure. Then the running, and like I said, see the federation, see the Boxers Federation with little or nothing. See what they've done to made us proud. Don't let us undermine the effort of the association trying to bring these guys and the athletes themselves, because they have this Nigeria.
Never say die spirit. We no go grieve for anybody.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said, we need to invest in all those other sports for us to see more gold. So when you see the numbers, Nigeria second, and you see the number of gold that Egypt, it's because they are deliberate about what they are doing. And you can also see in Morocco in their football.
Oh yeah,
it's just so
the scale of investment is incredible.
You can't just somebody in Nigeria. You don't want to invest, but you want to profit. It's not. It doesn't work like that.
I can imagine so. But let's quickly take a look at the medals table as it currently stands right now to show you how well Nigeria is doing. Last time I checked, it is 41 gold medals for Nigeria. It could be more because there are 6 more boxers who are in line to win gold medals tonight. So at the end of tonight, it might be 47 gold medals that you see on your screen. But it's 41 gold medals for Nigeria, 29 silver, 38 bronze medals, way behind Egypt, who Toyosi alluded to bringing the gold medals all the way from Cairo to hang on their necks and take back 98 gold medals, 44 silver, 40 bronze medals for them, a total of 182, followed by South Africa, Algeria, Tunisia, Ghana finally making it up the table somewhat, some kind of return on their investment for hosting the games, Mauritius, Ethiopia, Morocco, Kenya, Eritrea, and Uganda. Okay, you look at this table. Any surprises for in terms of placements? One would have thought that the likes of Kenya would be higher up. The likes of South Africa would be in a tug of war with Nigeria for second place as well. Any surprises in terms of how these countries have done?
Definitely. Mauritius, Eritrea, and I think Tunisia as well. I did not expect them to be high up in the table. But then again, that just goes to show you how some of these countries took into cognizance the African Games. Like we said for Nigeria, a lot of people felt like some of our foreign-based athletes should not have come for the African Games. But by themselves, by their own submission, they honored the call-up. And some of them even, suggested that they wanted to come for it and honor this. They had other options if they wanted to have other preparation competitions to get ready for the Olympics. But they honored this and they came for it. Now for these other African countries, this is proof, just like what Toyosi alluded earlier, if you want to be successful, you need to invest. These countries have been investing over time, over the years, in different sports. Now, the African Games is a multi-sport event. There's a huge reason why Egypt is far ahead. So it's not just in football, it's not just in swimming, it's not just in table tennis, it's all round for them. And all these other African countries, especially the North African countries, they are taking after them, they are following the same model so that in due time, they will be up there when it comes to multi-sport competitions. And we currently see that in the medal table.
So what about those who argue, for example, Wale, who say that, look, it shouldn't be an all-comers affair, that everyone should just pretty much look at their areas of comparative advantage and pretty much stick to it and invest in it. Nigeria does well in football, we should invest in football. Yeah. You obviously have comparative advantage in wrestling, we should invest in it. Yep. We have a comparative advantage in boxing, as you can see, we should invest in it. Athletics as well, and pretty much leave out the other sports.
I agree.
You agree?
Of course.
So what happens to the likes of cricket, basketball, handball? Handball, by the way, won a bronze medal today, beating Togo in the third place match.
What we don't know is that even in cricket and handball, we've got history. Historically, we've always been good in the sport.
True, but what about now?
We haven't just invested in it. We have one of the best cricket sites at T20 level. With handball, we have a vibrant league that even has a sponsor. How many leagues, sport leagues in Nigeria? So we have just not followed up on it. But with handball, the signs are very good. Like you said, they've just won bronze, and they're doing well even in continental competitions. Our under-17 side also have done well as well. Volleyball too, last year has been a very decent year for our cadet teams in volleyball. But we need to just put in more. What the African Games have shown, and I've said it over time on this platform, is it has shown that there is quality, there is talent.
No doubt.
But there's the limit where talent can get you to. You have to harness it. Now, to harness it, you have to invest. We are not investing, and that's the next stage into global domination. You talked about Egypt, but people don't know that Tunisia also invested massively in sports. The tennis player who is in the WTA got to the Grand Slam final.
Oh, yeah.
She's Tunisian.
Yeah.
Tunisia.
Ons Jabeur.
Tunisia, I think, are also champions in basketball at international level. In fact, they call them the 7 wonders of African sports because in about 7 sports in Africa, they are the defending champions. You can see that in the medals table as well. Kenya are not up in there because they have not come in with A or Class B athletes.
With their A-class athletes.
And a couple of the athletes also are probably trying to make money in other half marathons and other events out there. But there is quality. But I agree, to your point, that let us focus on the ones that can give us. See, we are swimming. We are naturally gifted with swimming, but how much have we put into that?
But that's what we keep talking about how have people in the Jaw-speaking part of Nigeria who swim from one village to the other, but we never harness that.
See, that is not the level of swimming globally. You need there's a lot to put into training, into exposure, into retraining,
into coaching facilities.
So and we are not close to that at all.
I see what you mean, Wale. But it's an ongoing conversation, and thankfully that's why we have a Minister of Sports Development, right? a key emphasis on that word, development. That's his job, to develop all these other sports to ensure that they receive equal attention. Because believe it or not everybody likes football in this country. There are people who actually engage in other sports. But still speaking about football, yesterday was the women's final of the football event at the Africa Games. Today was the third place, and the final is currently going on as well. Third place ended in favor of Senegal, beating Congo by 2-0. The final is currently going on. Ghana facing Uganda. Uganda has been the surprise team of this tournament. But if Ghana win this one, I think they will feel that this is some challenge, it's some kind of consolation that we want the women's event, we want the men's football event, so everybody else can go.
They'll have even had a fantastic African Games. If they could do the 1-2.
True.
They've won athletics 200
So now
meters.
this is the problem where I feel a lot of people always put too much emphasis on football. It's a multi-sport event, so why should they feel happy having one just men and women's?
Ghana never came into this African Games hosting to win. They knew they had no chance. Because there's Egypt, there's Nigeria, and Tunisia as well.
And just like before, I said to you that I was surprised that now they're on the first page of the medal table. Honestly, I didn't expect them to get there.
Yeah, they were out of the top 10 before. Yeah.
But now they're here. It's a good opportunity for them. I take a look at some of the races that have been happening. You have a lot of Ghanaians in the stadiums. They are so energetic.
So passionate.
So passionate. Yesterday, during the 4x100 meters, they thought they were going to win it. In fact, they were already celebrating, only to find out at the end that they lost it. And then they were so sad. So definitely, they'll be looking forward to the football. For me, if they finish in the top 5 of the medal table, I think it's excellent, in my own opinion, considering the fact that we know that in multi-sport events, they are not the best. So far, so good for them. If they can get a win against Uganda, good for them.
That'll be some return on their investment as far as the guys here in the studio are concerned. So that game between Ghana and Uganda starts in the next few minutes. It hasn't started yet. It's just been corrected by my producer, but we'll be keeping our eyes on that game as well. You're still watching Game On here on News Central Television. We'll take a break. When we return, the man himself will be talking about how we can harness the power of Nigeria football to grow it into a global brand, because it's promising but not yet profitable. Thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching Game On. It's always a shame that some of you can't see what goes on behind the scenes when the cameras cut to a break. It's always very interesting, vibrant conversation here, but we'll be bringing a bit more about it, the edited version of it as we progress on the show. But let's quickly get to football now. I'll tell you that there will be matches played in the Nigeria Professional Football League tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday as well. Let's quickly give you those fixtures. Some great games to look forward to. First, Doma United taking on Gombe United in the Gombe Derby. That's the Savannah Derby, they call that one. Home team is Doma United. And don't forget that Gombe are currently under the hammer from the MPFL after infraction in the previous game. Fans invaded the pitch. The match officials were touched, as we like to say, in this part of the world. So we'll be keeping an eye on that particular game. Kano Pillars will also take on Sporting Lagos in another game to look forward to on Saturday. Then on Sunday, it's Katsina United versus Abia Warriors, Heartland versus Enugu Rangers, Lobby Stars versus Bayelsa United, Remo Stars will take on Bedell Insurance, Shooting Stars will be guests of Niger Tornadoes. The game between Sunshine Stars and Rivers United has been postponed. Enyimba will be guests of Kwara United in Ilorin. Plateau United will take on Akwa United, while it's Remo Stars versus Bendel Insurance in Shagamu. That should be a great game. Then on Monday, it's Niger Tornadoes hosting Shooting Stars. That's a game to look forward to as well. Let's quickly show you the top 6 of the MPFL as it currently stands. Lobby Stars still leading that one, looking good for a title. We're not sure how this one is going to end, but it is very tight between the top 4 and the top 6 teams in the table. Let's quickly show you the top 6 of the MPFL. Like I said, Lobby Stars in the mix there. Shooting Stars also rising up the table. There you go, in 6th place. Hoping they can make a late play for the league titles. Just 6 points on top of Lobby Stars. 2 wins can close that gap. Enugu Rangers in 2nd place. Enyimba in 3rd. Plateau United in 4th. Remo Stars just above Shooting Stars there as well. I know that someone on this table has a great affinity for Shooting Stars. I'm not going to mention his name, but Shooting have a lot of work to do. Bottom 6 now, Heartland propping up the table. The magic of Mikey Doko is yet to seep into the team. They are right back in the bottom after moving up the bottom of the league just a few days ago. But Gombe United just above them, docked 3 points, so that makes their survival particularly dicey. Akwa United above them, Kwara United also in the relegation zone, just above them, Bayelsa United and Niger Tornadoes. Right, let's talk about what the man here has come to discuss. Now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are regarded as probably the biggest sporting brand in Nigeria. But that's the question. How does it stack against other brands across the sub-region, across the continent, and even in the world. We talk about brands like the Brazil national team, the English national team, the French, the Spanish. Teams in the top 20 in the world make a tremendous amount of money from merchandising, marketing their teams. I can tell you as a matter of fact that just have Brazil to come and play your team, there's a set fee that they do not go beyond. There's a tremendous amount, there's a number of tickets that you must provide for both players and officials as well. But has the Nigerian football brand reached that particular level? Now, Toyosi is, of course, like I mentioned, Toyosi Oyetunji, he's a senior partner of Sport.com. And at the last Africa Cup of Nations, they put together this incredible campaign that was titled #Let's Do It Again. Basically, it was a hashtag trying to get Nigeria to win the Africa Cup of Nations again for the first time in 20 years after doing it in South Africa in 2013. Didn't exactly pan out, but according to the metrics, according to what we've seen and reviewed, it was a phenomenally successful campaign. And you begin to wonder, Toyosi, just how did this even come about? I just need to ask.
Okay, I think while you asked me this question, we met in the Jebu one way, having a conversation, and they was, "Hey, Mogile, what are you trying to do? I don't understand." You know, just like as a brother was asking me, and it started when I've been with Super Eagles in the last 11 years, trying to help behind the scene to develop the social media space. So we're planning to have this documentary for the Super Eagles just to unveil the players as we go to the Nations Cup, because we felt at that point that most Nigerians don't know these players. Like player like Raf Oyedika, nobody know who be Raf. Some of them just the morphine, for instance. And those guys have amazing stories that that can actually showcase them and let Nigerians know who they are. And that was the intention. So when I traveled, I went to Belgium, I went to France to meet these players doing the documentary. And all of them, there's one particular thing they were saying, that they're not ginger to play for Nigeria. That people come to their DM insulting their father, which they understand is football, it happens everywhere. But the way Nigerians do it for them is like, you are going to war and you're already defeated in your house. There's no ginger. So at that point, I spoke with Olajide, the director of communication at NFF, and I called Raji, guys, what do we need to do for the Super Eagles? And we started racking our brain that we need to do a PR campaign just to see that Nigerians to see the Super Eagles going to war, and we have to do it together, not them doing it. You see, every time the players are talking about it, they say, let's do it again. It's talking like, Nigerians, we need you to do it again. We need your support, we need your prayers, we need Nigerians to be behind us. And that was why we had to put in Nigerians' mouth, we had to do a musical video, we had to do everything to make sure we had a spoken word, to see, we did a lot of things.
Just to get the fans engaged and plugged in.
And to now make the case very complicated for us, we were talking to brands, and I've been in marketing for a while, and when you talk to brands about Super Eagles or football in Nigeria, they will tell you, no, that's not in our radar right now. No, we're not doing football. What do you want to do? You're not doing football, no sponsorship. And you can testify to that. When you go to sponsors and you tell them, okay, this want to do this football thing or sport, we're not interested, Jerry. You know why? So they have a way they scale the interest. There's what they call the interest. That means on social media, when you're opening your display, what are your interests, music, entertainment,
sports.
And we have the highest number, and it shows in our numbers. We have the numbers of the Gen Zs, so to say, between 18 to 35 and the millennials together. We have over 74% make the population of Nigeria.
On social media?
No, even in reality. Even reality, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 75% Nigerians, even more than that are between the age of 18 to 35.
In a country of over 200 million people?
Exactly.
That's a lot.
Now, the brands are now telling you that this is where our interest lies. And again, these people, their interest also is music, number one, followed by entertainment, followed by art. Then football now ranked number 4.
Interesting.
And no wonders, if you're very observant, when I was growing up, when I started working like some 20 years ago, when I'm going to work, I said this when I went unveiling, when I'm going to work in the morning, and you're driving on the road of Lagos, you see all the billboards, either JJ Okocha or Kano, you see endorsement. Even no Nigerian players has endorsement going to this Nations Cup.
Not a single one.
Even Osimhen.
Wow.
So the brands rather go to get, and it's the number of
the entertainers, the music.
So when I'm driving to church on Sunday, and I said this once, and as my last boy would say, Dad, why is it Davido is always on all the billboards in Lagos? Why not? Because the guy is always in the news. He's always in the conversation. But the sad part of it? So we are talking about marketing or selling a brand. It's communication, basically.
And that was why you came up with that creative hashtag, let's do it again, plugging Nigerians in, trying to get them to communicate. And we saw what a lot of things that you did on social media trying to push this. The hashtag was trending tremendous along with Super Eagles as well as the AFCON hashtag as well. How would you measure that success in terms of metrics on social media and in terms of how it grew the Super Eagles brand?
Okay, so during the AFCON, if you check very well, when we post and CAF post, our post was doing better than CAF. With all their numbers.
In all the platforms?
Almost all the platforms. So we had close to 200 million impressions in 3 months. I mean, but more of it came during the Nations Cup.
Yeah.
We have 200 million impressions, more than 200 million. We were able to reach 180 million accounts on the whole platform. 180 million, put all the TV stations together in Nigeria. You know, you can't get that. So recently, I was just trying to look at the numbers, and I was trying to say, Super Eagles on Twitter, on Twitter, we have not 1 million, like 950,000 thereabout. The video is like 227 million, but when he posts, he has like maybe 90-something thousand. But we are not doing value, we're doing like 60,000 likes. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you one thing. If I ask you what kind of music you like now, you might tell me you like Afro-pop.
Amapiano.
Oh yeah, he loves Amapiano.
You love what?
Yeah. I love Afrobeats. Yeah.
Oh, you love
Afrobeats.
Afrobeats. But I love reggae. My daughter loves K-pop, Korean songs.
Not surprising.
So definitely, so that means in this room, all of us we have
Different interests.
But we are all Nigerians. If I ask you what's the national team, regardless, it's going to be Super Eagles. So that means that team is bigger than any brand put together that outside this country. If you do it very well. Unfortunately, most time, even when you have event and you're talking to event planner, they want to engage you in communication. So what's the plan? What's the budget for media? They will say, we don't have budget for media.
They now begin to wonder exactly how you plan to promote this particular brand.
Okay. And you see big brands, talk about top 5 brands, you know. When you go on the road, you see their communication every day in your eyes. You have to be there. Because out of sight, it's out of mind. The dumbest knowledge of communication. If you are not there, and that's why you see people that are talking on social media become like influencers. Doesn't make them smart people.
But it just makes them more,
because they're showing up.
More involved in it.
So when we are in the football industry, we don't show up. The internet people are showing up every day. The brand will go for that.
But look at this, Toyosi. I mean, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we said it on this show that everybody generally agrees it is the biggest sporting property in Nigeria. And they've been doing tremendous work with Nike over the last few years, especially like last FIFA World Cups. They just released the new iteration of the 2024 Super Eagles jersey. There's been definitely split camps. Some have been for it, some have been against it. But you look at it in conjunction with other global brands. The Brazil jersey, everybody knows that iconic yellow and green. The England jersey is the best-selling national team jersey in the world. We've seen videos and pictures of Nigerians queuing around the block in cities across the world trying to get the next Super Eagles jersey. But you get the impression that somehow it doesn't really trickle down in terms of hard cash for Nigerian Football Federation. Why is this so?
It's the same thing we're discussing here. So when you don't have a communication line. So for instance, now the England can tell you that on our website, we have 50 million hits, people trying to buy, people trying to do that. But you Nigerians, can you tell me your numbers as well?
The NFF has a website, sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying we are going for, we are there now. We are getting there now. We are getting there now. I'm saying before now. See, there's, and also don't forget that every administration have their own challenges. You know, in the last 8 years, football in Nigeria has had a lot of challenges where we have been out of war, out of court.
In court.
So it has distracted a lot. But these new guys came in and they are just mellow. They are trying to rebuild again. So I'm saying that let us give a new. When I was talking to a colleague Tega recently, and you said, "Oh, I don't want to touch NFF." It is not NFF. It is our NFF. We are stakeholders. I know how much you've invested in football. I know how much evil you try to do. So we cannot sit back and say it's their NFF. It's our NFF, right? If you have any ideas that can help these guys, they have amazing guys in the secretariat, from the general secretary. I've worked with them. I know they are smart, a lot of smart people there. But they have their challenges. But we all, like I said, that's why we said, let's do it again. And we need everybody. I mean, you may say, oh, you did it. I didn't do it. I mean, there's a whole lot of team. From Sade Olatoye, the head of competition for NFF. If you see the Secretary General himself trying to make sure at all events things happen, see the responsibility. Even the players, when they saw the whole engagement, they say, we must die here.
They all bought into it. I remember they were all rocking the merchandise and everything.
Apart from that, you saw in their action. That's why you see people have injuries and they play 5 matches with injury because that thing wasn't there. Let me tell you. Let me tell you back the story. When they came in from Abu Dhabi for the Central Party, thanks to Lagos State government for hosting them. We wrote to them that, okay, guys, we need to do this for them. When they came, all of them came in face cap. All of them, almost all of them, were in face cap, covering their head because they lost match. They lost their
against Guinea, yeah.
Their spirits were so down. But when they got in there, with all what the minister, the later government told them, and they saw the campaign, this guy went there and they gave us all their best. You saw the match they played today. The match compared to all the matches in Abidjan. Today's match was fantastic. It was a lot. You enjoy football.
We'll talk about that match later on.
So I'm saying that it is our football, so we should be responsible. But I will say this again: if you have a product, and from this studio you produce pure water, for instance, and you put the advert there and say this pure water, you can drink it, but you will be running stomach after drinking it. Who will buy it?
Nobody will buy it.
Therefore, all of us that are stakeholders as well, we should stop killing our football. Because I asked some journalists, and I asked them, are you going to go to the Nations Cup? Yeah, I would love to go, but I don't have sponsor. You will never get sponsor. Because you sit down on these decks and they're talking about football.
On social media.
Even your studio. And you are saying the coach is not a good coach. He's a rubbish coach. And the players, and you have said it on this studio.
And sponsors are watching.
And you're saying that we will not even get out of the group stage.
Yeah, but that might be constructive criticism.
You know, I'm coming. You're saying that you won't get out of the group stage. And after that, you have said that, and the team is bad, and you now write a proposal to a brand that I want to go and watch the team that will not come out from the group stage.
Wait, hold on. I mean, we've talked about this before. Like you said, constructive criticism. Yeah. Everybody criticizes the English national team, the French national team. It's part of it.
That's the journalist's job to do.
So very good.
There are two different things.
So very good. There's a match England played when we lost one match like that. We drew Mozambique or something, and England lost their own match. And I went to their own page to see how they were analyzing it. I'm saying that you can analyze, but you don't damage the brand. You can analyze, right, and give a way forward. You can analyze and look at it.
The positive sides.
I saw this sport university. You know that.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm qualified to sit down here and analyze football for you.
Okay.
Right? True. Because I even played it very well.
True.
You know that I played it very well.
Yes, I know.
I was one of the best.
I know, yes.
I played football and I also studied football. Right. But when you sit down and you start killing your brand, taking the coach, taking NFF, taking the players, and shredding them.
Are you saying now that the fourth estate of the realm should be embellishing?
No.
And not be objective in its analysis.
Because sometimes they give us reasons.
If something is bad, it's important that you say it is bad.
I agree with you. I agree to a large extent. I'm saying that. See, I've talked about where we media people need to help the brand to project it. But in projecting it, also, we have to be very careful the choice of our words. Now, just imagine this sentence that this Super Eagles, they are going to Nations Cup and they will not come out of group stage. People, almost everybody was saying it, and it was stick into the brand. The brand gave us money to go to Nations Cup, and the head of marketing, I will not mention it, but was saying, I'm just doing this because we know you guys will not come out of this stage because they've heard our people.
Yeah, but thankfully we proved them wrong. So, but let's just leave it at that. That basically, in order to improve the Super Eagles brand, there must be greater positivity around projecting the brand both online and offline. That's pretty much what you're saying. And I totally agree with that because
that has changed
it really has to change if we want to grow the brand to be among some of the biggest in the world. Let's move on very quickly. You mentioned the fact that the Super Eagles of Nigeria played a friendly match today, and that was what happened in faraway Marrakesh. The Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Ghana by 2-1 thanks to a penalty in the 38th minute by Cyril Dessers, then an 84th minute goal by Ademola Lookman, who was one of the heroes of the Nations Cup, and but a late goal by Captain Jordan Ayew was not enough to salvage Ghana, who are reduced to 10 men after 2 yellow cards for Opoku. And really good performance, considering the fact that Finidi George pretty much stuck with the same 3-4-2-1, but you got the impression that it was the same formation, but press square pegs in square holes.
Definitely, and I'll start by this second goal showing what you don't see is the build-up from the back. Starts by Stanley Nwabali to Shemi Ajayi, from Shemi Ajayi to Raphael Onyedika, from Raphael Onyedika to Frank Oyeka. Frank Oyeka lobs the ball to Kelechi Iheanacho. He brings it down, passes it to Iwobi. Iwobi makes a very sharp pass to Ademola Lookman, who is a fox in the box. I mean, he registered 3 goals at AFCON for us. And for me, with Finidi George, I think he just showed his tactical prowess in this game. Because in comparison to Jose Pesero, same formation, different implementation.
Okay.
I think we were more comfortable on the ball. We were playing a bit more from the back. Stanley Nwabali came out a lot. He kind of made a back four for us. And then you had someone in Bright Osai Samuel inverting inside. And then you had Cyril Dessers, Kelechi Iheanacho, and they were just running riot at the Ghanaian defense. So for me, just like I said, Finidi just showed his tactical prowess, different way of implementing the formation, and I think this is what suits Nigeria so far going forward. Why do I say that? Because for a good number of years, we've missed a talismanic number 10, a creative midfielder. When you don't have that, no. For me, in my own opinion, when you don't have someone who can control the game in the middle of the park, when you don't have someone who can set the tempo of the game, playing this sort of formation helps you a lot.
It's pretty much pragmatic because
it
you
cuts
just play
individual errors and it helps to provide a balance between defense and attack.
But Wale, you saw the game as well.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, Alex Obi just showed that good riddance to bad rubbish to the 3-4-3.
Yes, of course, yes, rightly so.
It is still a 3-4-3. It's still a 3-4-2.
Yeah, but he had a much more advanced role. But what I wanted to take from this game was what we were seeing on our screens, just before we switched back to the studio from a branding point of view. I mean, watching Nigeria's best game, probably since AFCON, like you mentioned, and we could only watch this game from the lens of a mobile phone.
True.
From the NFF.
Sad.
That is sad. I mean, and you're talking about projecting the image of the Super Eagles. I can tell you that I only watched the game from Ghanaian feeds
TV.
via YouTube, and they had a lot. Their radio stations, their TV stations were all peeking into Marrakesh and getting pictures on YouTube. We had nothing unofficially. So when we come here and talk about the brand, the guys in charge, are they also helping the conversation? I don't think so.
So you want to respond to that?
Yeah, so Wale, yeah, you're right. But like I said, it's we should take ownership as well. And it's called responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. When we talk about the NFF, these guys are the army. Who are these guys? We are football stakeholders. Wale, there's no how you want to tell me that if you have, see, this is a challenge. If we see that the way we can help, these people will listen to us.
The NFF has a media department. I'm sure about that.
I'm sure, but they're limited in capacity. I'm saying that's why I'm saying we should be responsible. I mean, as a stakeholder.
You're basically talking about private individuals. I mean, look at the England we keep talking about.
Limited in capacity. I mean,
Sky Sports is
why not partnerships?
They help us to partnership. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The partnership, like this is a student. Okay, we can do this for you. You can do this for Super Eagles. You can do the NFF. See, is it the president that will now go and I'm saying that
he's not the
NFF president. Yeah. I mean, we are stakeholders. It's an ecosystem. I can tell you in the entertainment industry, right? I know some guys like Obi Asika those days. Those guys invested, they pulled the entertainment. Even the Davido you're talking about, when it came to this country, I was still with Google that time. I know how they invested in all those things. And it's a private. Yeah. So that's why you cannot compare football and entertainment per se, because you said because of the infrastructure, the big investment and all of that.
Okay, I totally agree, but we're hard pressed for time, so we really have to move forward. I'm still talking about merchandising as well. The next two stories are absolutely interesting as well. I mean, the English FA have defended the New England kit because of creative license that Nike went ahead with. The St. George's cross design that you see on the back of the collar is not the one that you're used to. It's usually a red cross on a white background. And according to the FA, they said that it is not the first time that different colors have been used, and they understand that what the flag means to their fans will be displayed prominently at Wembley tomorrow at their friendly match. The Prime Minister and the leader of Labour Party have criticized the design, saying that it doesn't represent England, but Nike have said that it wasn't meant as a joke. it was just meant as a tribute to the 1966 World Cup winning team, but it's a pricey jersey to us. 124.99 pounds for that jersey that you see. That's for adults. For children, it's 119.99 pounds. That's 120 pounds. So we see that we still have a long way to do with that.
We can't even find out.
Okay, so Tunde, from what you just said now, let me just say one line.
One line.
See the communication behind the jersey, unveiling alone. There was a communication.
Okay.
Brand communication.
Yes.
This is what this means. This is what means. That alone generates what? Balls.
Okay, fine. I get that.
I'm saying we have to get it's communication.
But we have to move on to it. Still talking about kits as well. There's also a major upheaval in world. In world football right now? Germany have been kitted by Adidas for the last 70 years. And there's absolute bedlam in Germany now because that contract has been taken over by Nike. The German Football Federation have decided to switch to Nike from Adidas, who has kitted the German national team for the last 20 years. Politicians are in uproar. The contract will pass from Adidas to Nike in 2027. The German Minister of Economy, Robert Habeck, has said that he would have liked a bit more local patriotism, while Health Minister Karl Lauterbach called the decision wrong. Nike have agreed to pay about 100 million euros per year to supply the kits, which doubled what Adidas used to pay. That's an interesting question, Toyosi. Do you think that the current Super Eagles or Nigeria Football Federation contract should be up for review anytime soon?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should review. Because
Nike should pay more.
Nike should pay more because we have a bigger brand now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our brand is what we didn't negotiate.
Well, it's worth for negotiation. Well, thank you very much, guys. We're hard pressed for time. We're really out of time right now. Thank you so much, Okwa, for coming through. Toyosi, Tunje, always a pleasure having you in the studio. You should come more often. I hope you can get more often. While at the Gun, also a pleasure having you in the studio. Everyone behind the scenes who also made this possible, thank you so much as well. But before we go, let's tell you that there is an old man who is still handing out cards all across the world. Yes, believe it or not, the oldest football referee in the world is Britain's Frank Foster, who is 90 years old. He's taking charge of more than 5,000 games in the past 43 years. And according to him, he says he has no plans to leave the whistle. And he started refereeing in November 1980 and still look after men's, women's, and children's games 3 times a week. And according to him, he says this will be his 44th year of refereeing, and he has no plans of stopping anytime soon. And I'm just amazed. A 90-year-old man who can still run up and down chasing people, that is nothing short of
we need him for the Man City Arsenal.
You should have been at the Liverpool Man City game. You probably have done a better job. Thank you so much for joining us on Game On. The show makes a return next week, Monday. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Wishing you a wonderful weekend. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.